Hey guys, so today I'm really excited for the hair that I'm doing because I'm going to be doing some long straight hair with bangs. I've never had straight across bangs, but I've been wanting them for a really long time.
But yeah, so let's just jump right in. First, I'm going to show you guys the braiding pattern that I am using. So in this tutorial, in order to create my bangs, I will be using a closure. So whenever I have my closure, I still kind of want a part. And even though I'm not having bangs and there isn't really going to be that much of a defined part, there's still going to be a little bit of a part in the middle. So that's why I braided those two braids along the top to where I would still have a part in the middle. So you'll only be able to see scalp and not braids through the lace at where I part the hair in the lace closure. And now what I'm doing is I'm braiding along the sides. I think it's very important that you have braids coming straight along the sides so that whenever you are sewing onto the perimeter, you have one smooth surface to sew onto. So I think honestly the braiding pattern, you can mix it up, but I think the two most important things for this braiding pattern at least is to make sure that you still have a part there in the middle. You don't want to just braid through the middle. You want to have your natural part in the middle, and you want to have braids coming along from the side. And so as you can tell in this install, I'm not gonna have any leave out at all, which is something I really like about this hairstyle. I'm trying to do more hairstyles without leave out because I know it is difficult to take care of leave out. I'm relaxed, so it's a little bit easier for me, but I know if you're natural then it can be hard. If you're wondering how I grew my relaxed hair this long, you can watch another video. But yeah, so I'm finishing up the braiding right here, and at the ends of all of these braids, I am just tying it off with like one of those small goody rubber bands. So after I finish braiding the braids, what I do, since I kind of have a lot of hair, is I tuck the braids in between, like the gaps in between the cornrows with bobby pins. And as you can see, another thing is my braids are usually pretty big because I don't have time to be doing like small braids, and I feel like these get the job done. So yeah, once you are done with the braids, you get into the fun part, which is sewing. To sew, you'll need needle and thread, and first thing you'll do is thread your needle. Once you've threaded your needle, you'll put the needle through the wefts of the hair. And in this installation, I'm double wefting, which just means I folded the weft in half to make this faster. So right now I'm going through both halves of the weft that I folded over. And then what I do is I measure how big the closure is so I know where to start sewing, because I don't want to sew where the closure will be.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my needle, and I'll put my needle through and over here. And once I get to that area, I'll start putting the needle through those braids as well. But for here, I'm just putting the needle up underneath the braid because it'll just help the weft lay underneath the braid, and you want it to lay underneath the braid so that whenever you flip it back you won't be able to see the braid, just in case your hair blows in the wind, you know, stuff like that. So once you have put it through, then you're going to make another stitch, hold it up with your other hand, and then you're going to use the needle to do the same thing. And now you're going to go under both wefts and under the braid, catching any braids that are in that area really. And then you're going to go under, and now instead of pulling it all the way through, you're going to take this extra thread that you have here and you're going to loop it around. You can do it once or twice. I'll just do it once to make takedown a little bit easier, and then you're going to tighten it. So that's what you're going to do as you go throughout your whole head.
And then after I do that, I just like to bobby pin the hair up in place just to make things easier on myself so I don't have to keep on holding it up. And then I'm just going to continue doing the same looping thing. Once the thread starts to run out, you want to end it by looping it like 3 or 4 times and then cutting it off and then tying it one more time. And you want to make sure that you tie it when the string is still pretty long so you have enough room to tie. And then you just cut it off with scissors. Then next, once you have a newly threaded needle, you'll put the needle up through under everything just like before. So now instead of just pulling it all the way through, you want to make sure that you put the needle through the loop so that it can stay secure. And And that's all you have to do to start it. And then you continue doing the same looping process as earlier. So you go through up from under the hair and then you loop it once or twice, and then you continue literally the same thing throughout your head. Once you get the hang of it, this is actually really easy. I think the hardest part of doing your own sew-in is the braiding part actually. But the thing with braiding for a sew-in is that no one's going to see the braids that you have underneath. So really they can look like really horrible and no one will know. As long as your hair is down and out of the way, then you're good. So what I'm doing here is I'm folding over the weft, because in this installation I don't cut anything because I like to keep my hair good, so I don't like to cut it. So I flipped it over and I bobby pinned it up in place, and then I continue as normal. So yeah, that's just one thing. If you want to reuse your hair a lot, I recommend not cutting it and just flipping it over. And before you flip it over, make sure to knot it like a little bit extra, or like go through it a little bit more so you don't get extra lumps every time you flip it over, and everything can lay pretty flat. So I'm just going to continue to do this back and forth. So this hair that I'm using is from SuperNova hair off of AliExpress. So far I'm really liking the hair. I haven't had long silky hair in a while, so it's really nice. Very low maintenance, honestly. I feel like straight hair is very low maintenance in general. Very soft, does not tangle too much, doesn't really shed that much. Customer service, everything was good with this hair. I honestly don't have anything bad to say about this hair. I haven't had it for too long yet, but so far so good.
And this hair company is doing a giveaway, so if you want to know how you can get this hair for free, more information about that will be linked down below.
In general though, about sew-ins, I think that they aren't as hard as they look, and it's definitely something that anyone can do. If you're thinking that I don't really know how to do my own hair, I like this as well because I feel like anyone can do it and it doesn't require you to have leave out. So I really like the styles of bangs. But yeah, so once you are done with the sewing part, because you're not going to sew the hair onto the whole head, you want to leave some room for the closure. You're going to get your closure ready, and literally all I did to prepare this closure was wash it and cut off the lace. And as you can tell, so this closure is also from SuperNova. As you can tell, you can slightly see the part there. The density and everything is already pretty good. So if you're bad with closures, it doesn't even matter. But for this tutorial, you honestly don't have to be good or bad with closures, because I'm making this very simple. Honestly, I'm not very good with closures at all, and this was so easy to do because you don't have to make your closure look nice in order to make the bangs look nice. I'll show you what I'm talking about later, but right now I'm just sewing on the closure, and what I'm doing is I'm going under the last weft that I sewed, and then I'm going through the very edge of the closure to sew it down. And then every once in a while, I loop it. So I'm just doing the same process, except now I am grabbing onto the edge of the closure. It's really not hard to sew down at all, but you just continue that throughout the head. So now I'm just combing down the hair. It was slightly damp here. So I actually left because I was tired and I took a break, and this is how it looked after a while. And as you can tell, it's not very good, but I'm going to show you how you can take your closure from looking like this to looking really nice. So all I did was re-wet it, and I am drying it just to flatten it down. I don't know why it dried so lumpy, but now I'm just going to show you how I create my bangs. So all I'm doing is all I did was comb a small section of my hair, just the amount to where I can see through my hair, because you always want to start with a little and then later on you can add on. I'm going to take a section from both ends of my nose. I'm going to twist this, and I'm going to cut right at my nose, at the tip of my nose right there. I have made my first cut. So now I'm going to see how I like that. You always want to start off with a little and then get more, and I'm already really liking the way this is turning out. So as you can see, I only cut very little, but it's ended up spreading pretty far. So you just don't want to overcut with these. Now what I'm going to do is cut from both sides, and I'm going to slant downwards and cut sort of a layered effect. I'm going to start from where this part ends, and then I'm going to cut downwards And then so yeah, I continue to cut down to create like the layered effect, and then I go back and make it a little bit shorter. So definitely, like I said earlier, you want to start off with less and add more. So now I'm adding more to the bangs to make them a little bit thicker. I still kind of want them to be kind of thin and wispy because I like that look better. And then I am curling them under with my flat iron, and then just doing some more trimming on the side. Literally just do small cuts and do a lot of them and keep on going so you don't overcut. I feel like I've had that problem in the past when I tried cutting my natural hair. It's very easy to overcut, so make sure you start with a little and then go with more. But this is honestly so easy. I think this whole installation took me like less than 3 hours. I think honestly it's very, very fast. And I think this is very easy for beginners. With bangs like these, I've been wanting them for a long time, but I was kind of afraid of getting them because I feel like it's very easy to get that like helmet head look when you have a sew-in that's with bangs. So I really wanted to create a tutorial or like find a way to make it not look like helmet head, and I think the best way to do that is honestly to use a closure and not like try to wrap it around. I don't know if you guys know what I mean, where you try to like wrap it around and do like your own little closure at the top. But I feel like this is the best way to make it look natural and not too wiggy. I'm definitely really, really loving this hairstyle, so definitely try it out for yourself. I feel like it's one of the easiest hairstyles I've done. You don't have to be like a hairstylist to do this. You can do it on yourself. So go out and really just try it and see what happens. So I hope that this video was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Real hair, and I honestly, as you can tell from the title, am shocked